Hey, everybody, welcome to Dirty Thursday, behind the scenes Track Announcers Day. It's going to be a great show. It's going to be a lot of fun, but there's a sad thing going on here today, too. A good friend of ours, Ellis Austin, had passed away. And at this time, we ask for just a moment of silence for our friend Ellis Austin. Thank you. This episode is brought to you by AFS, Automated Financial Services, your partner for fast, reliable, and affordable payment processing. Whether you're taking payments at the counter, on the go, online, or through a full POS system, AFS makes it easy to get paid anywhere, anytime. They handle credit, debit, EBT, gift, and loyalty cards across every industry, and touchless options available for all in-person transactions. Entrepreneurs and ISOs can even earn monthly residuals through AFS partnership opportunities. The tools are yours, the income is yours. You'll get approvals in under an hour. 24-hour equipment deployment or reprogramming. Low simple rates, matched or beaten, or they pay you, and 24/7 live customer service. You get the technology, rates, and support your business deserves. For a free cost analysis or rate quote, call 1-877-738-5010 or visit automatedfinancialservice.com. AFS, smart technology, real service, better business. All right, and we are back on a Dirty Thursday behind the scenes with Track Announcers today. Thank you for that moment of silence for our friend Ellis Austin. On the show today, man, this is going to be fun. From Red River Valley Speedway in Fargo, the Red River Kart Club, Buffalo River Speedway, and Underwood Ice Racing. I think that's all he does is racing stuff. Corey Litton is here. Also, Dale Kulas, of course. We know him as Dale the producer. He is also the announcer at Devil's Lake Speedway. Dan Wiskow from Greenbush Race Park, and, of course, myself, John Roberts. We're all here today. And what we like to do is like to take this month and go behind the scenes because we all talk and find out. You hear the stories we talk about before we go on the air, and it's pretty amazing some of the things that the people behind the scenes put up with. But if you have any questions or comments, 701-213-0863, the number 701-213-0863 is our number. And before we get to our daily segment, Jokes My Neighbor Tells Me, Corey Litton and Nick Curtis, apparently they tied again, but I saw Corey text first because he's sitting right next to me, and so we flipped the coin, and Corey won. So there we go, another round of applause. Hi, everyone. Help support us by pressing overview and subscribe. There we go. All right, here we go. Our daily segment called Jokes My Neighbor Tells Me. This is what we're going to do. We're going to do You Know You're a NASCAR Fan If. The big Daytona 500 coming up this weekend. You know you're a NASCAR fan if you ever get a full set of NASCAR plastic cups for a wedding gift. You know you're a NASCAR fan if you climb into your car through the window and the door's not broken.
Have done it. I have done it.
Or you know you're a NASCAR fan if you call your mother-in-law Talladega because she's 3 cars wide. There we go. A couple of things I do want to mention before we get the show going. I've got a big game going on tonight over at the East Grand Forks Civic Center. What do we got here? East Grand Forks Green Wave. They're taking on War Road. It's the first time they have been in that championship game in 8 years. Go check that out at the Civic Center. I believe it starts at 7 o'clock tonight. Go watch it. It's going to be against War Road. The winner of that game goes to state. Speaking of hockey, we have also got the Olympics men's hockey team plays today. Team USA versus Latvia at 2:10 our time. And if you really give a rat's ass, Canada was playing Czechia this morning, and I don't know who won that game.
I would hope Canada won that one.
Well, I would imagine they did, but there's been some upsets. There was a big upset yesterday. Then I was watching that the Italy game. I mean, they got outshot like 90-5, and they took it right to them. They almost carried that one away. But Daytona 500 weekend. Bryce Hallberg going to be down there running the ARCA car. But let's see. Let's give a little round of applause to Kyle Busch, the pole sitter. Rowdy. You know, I hated him. I'm starting to like him, though. He's starting to grow on me. Chase Briscoe also on the front row. But you got the duel at the Daytona tonight, 6 and 7:45. Craftsman Truck Series at 6:30 tomorrow. The Xfinity's at 4 on Saturday. And the 68th Daytona 500 at 1:30 on Sunday. What else we got going on this weekend? The 60th anniversary of the I-500, the Goodrich Grigla 500 this weekend. Barely enough snow to get that race going this weekend, but they've got it. It's been canceled the last 2 years. Last snowmobile race I ever raced in was the Goodrich 100. Now, all the stuff's done. You got anything to add?
I believe Amber Balkin's confirmed for the
that's right. Yep,
ARCA
that's
race
right.
also
Amber's
on Saturday.
going to be in there. And
Show all the support for our regional racers out there. And yeah, it's like duels tonight. Stoked for a big weekend of racing. And Corey, I know you're in the midst of your Underwood ice racing season there too. Seeing your updates.
Yeah, that's right. We've got a few weeks in, and it's been a lot of fun out there. We've definitely been putting on some pretty good shows, and every week it's the simplest form of racing that I've ever been involved in, as far as the organization, everything, the way it's run. I mean, I'm literally just talking into a radio transmitter the whole entire time.
Little FM transmitter. Yep.
And the way it's still. You'd think it would be dumb, but it's actually really entertaining.
Yeah.
And the people that are there are just really awesome, and it's just great to be a part of.
Have you taken a ride with anybody yet?
I'm going to be calling a race in a car here within the next couple of weeks. I've been trying to dial it in. Unfortunately, my wireless batteries die when it's too cold.
Oh, sure.
And then I'm trying to dial it in as far as sound too, because these guys got stacks coming out of their hoods. Like they got demo derby headers coming out of those things. And those cars are extremely loud when you're sitting in them.
Yeah.
So.
And it's not like they've got worried about heat or any of that kind of stuff. And do they even have windows?
Yeah, where we're at, we have all the windows still in it, and actually a lot of them do have heaters in them still, and they listen on their radios while I'm calling.
Oh,
and I've noticed that, so I've been using it to actually kind of say some things that are happening that actually aren't, and seeing if they're actually if they're how close they actually are listening.
Little in-car talking,
just messing
stuff
with them.
There. Yeah, ice racing's cool. How they can make those cars. I mean, I've seen where they're 3 wheels on the ice the whole time, a whole lap.
Yeah, the
it's crazy.
Ones, yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, they got the floater rear ends. They're basically a B-mod with a body.
Sure.
And
wow.
But the ones in Underwood, they're a little closer to stock, but it's still they do some interesting things with a 78
Caprice or something, or
Impala wagon.
Yeah, there you go. Since you've got the mic, tell us about yourself. I mean, you don't just do ice racing. Tell us about all of the things you do, because man, you are busy.
I almost ran out of space on my little on my preview image.
So did I. So you can see his. He goes all the way, and he's got a second line on his. But let's hear about what Corey Litton does.
Well,
besides that,
lately I've been doing a lot of hockey. I've been.
That's right.
I've been
You're
filling in at the Alexandria Blizzard.
Now, which league are they in?
NA3.
Okay.
HL.
Yep. Okay.
And it's at that league where you still have a lot of opportunity to go forward and stuff, and you get some eyes on you, get some playing time, and you get seasoned pretty well out there. And it's a tough league. Those kids hate each other.
Oh, I know.
And it's awesome.
Yeah, and I'm lucky. Throughout the years, I've had Central, Red River, and East Grand Forks, and so now I'm scheduled to do Tuesday. I got EDC starts here, so Central beat Moorhead this year. So all right. Anyway, let's hear about what all the shit you do.
Well, I have 3 karaoke shows a year that I do, and they're at the bar that my family owns, where I store the equipment, so I don't have to do a lot of that anymore. So I'm semi-retired from that. But that's kind of where the basis of the announcing came from, and my kind of style too. I do the as far as announcing, I do Buffalo River Speedway, Viking Speedway. I'm the pit reporter out there in Alexandria. Red River Valley Speedway just got the new schedule out too the other day. And the Red River Car Club, and a fill-in wherever, whenever. And
the fill-in-'s fun.
It is.
I like that.
Seen you at go-kart several times last few years there.
That's right. I didn't get a chance to get up to Grand Forks this year. I had to kind of scale back my schedule a bit from going from 110 to 120 races a year to about 70 races a year, which is still a lot, but it still took up a lot of my time. But yeah, I've had to scale it back quite a bit.
Before we get moving through here, all the people I strive to be, Brina, I think she's talking about us. Thank you. Does Amber still race? Then, answered my question. LOL. Morning, gentlemen, from Brendan Grover. Good morning, everybody, and I'll try to keep up with you. Across from me, Dan Wiskow, Greenbush Race Park. How you doing, man?
Not too bad.
How'd you get your start at Greenbush?
Many years. I guess I started being a pit crew for Chad Olson as a racer, and then I bought a race car and several race cars, raced for many years. got out of, when I left, I was racing 410s. I got out of that, and then wanted to help out the track, and they were basically the track people that took over said they were looking for an announcer, and one of the track guys had a videotape of me in the pits and said, you should have this guy. Well, that was me after a few margaritas, and I took the job. So
It usually works that way. It's a little, I call it vocal lubrication
Yeah.
myself, and I need a little bit. I mean, I loosen up a little bit. You know, you can't do this. There's no way you can do this job if you were hammered. I don't know. I mean, if you can, more power to you, but I don't get that. Ice oval racing in Strathcona this weekend. Also, Dan Wiskow knows ice racing there. First time you announced a race, how'd you feel? How was it for you? Were you pooping bricks a little bit or not?
yeah, I was a little nervous, obviously. I told them when I took the job, I said, I got a bad accent, not a radio quality voice, but I'll bring enthusiasm and some knowledge. So,
You know,
wasn't
there's
too bad.
I could name a couple of guys that don't have radio quality voices that still do this, but I'm not going to name any names.
it's a lot of fun.
Chad Hoff, hello, fellas. No, Dale, you're not the one I was thinking of.
What up, Chad?
Yeah, speaking of Dale, Dale Kulas, Dale the producer.
Oh man, feels so weird. I think the first time officially being a guest. I think now.
A working guest.
When we
Yes.
when we decided to do this show, obviously you had to be a part of it. Stephen Lewis has taken a couple of weeks off, so it worked out perfectly. You're not having to stand there, and you can just come and sit down and produce. And by the way, Dale is producing and as a guest, but
Multitask.
yeah. So I kind of know your story a little bit. When you started coming and doing stuff with us, I don't know what you knew about racing besides Formula One, because I know you're a Formula One geek. But all of a sudden, here's Dale thrust into go-karts. Now he's announcing at Devil's Lake. But how did this all get going for you?
It was all because of you, John. No,
Sorry about that.
No,
I
yeah.
apologize.
Yeah, opened the door and got me foot in the door. No, there was 1 week I was coming in to just fill in as a guest on another one of our GFBS shows, and I think I was only with GFBS for like a few months or so at that point, so I didn't really get a chance to interact with you too much, rather than just a quick hello, how's it going? But then I guess I think while Icky Ichabod was recording his show, I think you were listening in on the background, and you're like, oh hey, why don't you? You got your voice projects or something. I forget how you exactly worded it, and you're like, why don't if we have some free slots, help out at the track once or twice this season. And I think I messaged you a couple of times. I was at the track. I was like, John, I don't know. I only go to the races like once or twice a year. I'm very inexperienced. I don't want to disrespect the track. Don't want to disrespect the drivers. And it's like, oh, it's easy. Just come on down, have fun. And as I actually probably start going to the track a little bit more often. So I'm taking notes and all that. And then sure enough, I think midway through the season, I think this is 2022. You're like, all right, they got an opening next week, and it was just kind of like one thing led to another. Just did a couple times in 2022, and did one play-by-play at go-karts at the end of the year, and then a little bit more the next year at River City's trackside several times in 2023 and 2024, and then 2024 was when Devil's Lake Speedway got full time, and then just getting more involved at go-karts as well, doing post-race interviews and more tech production work there as well. So yeah.
Now a lot of people don't realize this, Dale, but you work nights.
Oh yeah.
So you get done at the racetrack, and what are your typical hours at your real job?
My 9 to 5 is pretty much like a 9 to 5, but an overnight time.
Right.
But, more like 9:30 p.m. to 8 a.m. So but the way I have my schedule split up, they rarely overlap. Occasionally, but not that often. So.
Corey, I don't know if when you've been on the show before here, but I don't know if I even know how you got your start.
I was
doing
drunk
the
in a
racing
bar.
stuff. And, it's funny that seems like that's the beginning of a lot of stories, at least in my life. How'd you get your start? Well, I was drunk in a bar.
Basically, my family owns Duffy's Bar down in Fargo, and I was in there one time, and there's a local radio guy that had Jack Sunday from KFGO, and he said, "You like going to these events? Why don't you come with us?" And they had the KFGO night at Buffalo River, and I was, picking every winner.
Yep.
And Joel Heitkamp was there with us that time, and I was giving his wife picks to beat him the entire time.
Oh,
which
sure.
I'm sure you love that.
I love that. Yeah.
So yeah, and they just brought me on the next morning, and I was still hammered from the night before because my family owns a bar, and I went right back to it. And I'm like, so I'm on the air, and I said some smart ass comment that got a good laugh, and it was at Joel's expense too. And
Good.
Jack Sunday's like, you're coming on every week, and then after that, the tracks just picked me up.
And you're a very well-known announcer now.
Yeah, I know. It kind of blew up from nothing, really. I wasn't even planning on going that day.
Yeah, it's so funny. And by the way, I'm going to do this for that. That's a great story. How I got started also had a little bit to do with beer. But I'm going to go back. When I started doing play-by-play back in the early 80s, I was a sports director at a couple of different stations, and I started out doing hockey, and then a guy named Don Jorstad took me under his wings. He was actually my advisor, my instructor for the first semester of radio and television school. And then I ended up going to work with him at some local stations. And he did a lot of snowmobile racing and a lot of dirt track racing back when Hallock and Warren had tracks. So I'd go on the road with him. Not only did I learn the trade from him, but I learned where every American Legion club in Northwest Minnesota was, because that's the first thing we did after the game was hit the, well, we're going to go to the Legion for one. And I'm like, absolutely, Don, I'm right there with you. But how it got started here at River City Speedway, it was funny because Darren Ebbebold, one of the track owners who I talk to all the time, his wife, I think, was with the fair board. And at that time, I was at a local rock station. And they wanted me to come and announce the demolition derby for the fair. So I get there, and I'm like, okay, I talked to Monica, and we're talking, and she says, like, where do you want me, and all of this, okay, this and that and that. And I'm like, okay, fine, where's the beer garden? What do you mean? I said, well, I need a beer. She goes, well, you can't drink and work. And I basically almost handed her the mic and said, well, you better go find somebody else. And, well, wait a minute. And I said, now, listen, you obviously you don't know me. I'll end up having a couple of beers, but you'll see. It'll be all fine. And the next thing you know, it's like, well, how'd you like to be the track side announcer? And it just morphed into that. And the thing is I was messing with race cars. I did the demos. I did the enduro circuit at Buffalo River that they used to have. And then I had bought a House Series 5 Super Stock. And I was working on that, and then I met my wife, and we started getting very serious. Well, she decided she was going to go to grad school and get her PhD, so I sold the car before I got it built. And she said, you know, when I get my job and I get my degree, my PhD, I'll buy you another race car. Fast forward a few years, I'm working at the River City Speedway, and one day she just kind of says, okay, it's time. And I'm like, for what? Well, I'm done. I got my job, and you said you wanted a race car. What do you want? I don't think it took me 4 seconds to go, I think I'm good. I think I'm all right. I'm around the people that are great people, the racing fans, the drivers, the families. I get my fill of racing, dirt track racing all the time, and I'm guaranteed a check every night. So that's what made it, and that is kind of how I got started. Dale's been a great addition to the racing community. He's really blossomed over the last few years. Oh, there you go, Kaylee.
Thank you, Kaylee.
Do you ever think you'd hear your name and the word blossomed in the same sentence?
That's some very nice vocabulary there. Thank you, Kaylee, and just thanks to the entire, all the racers, drivers, and crew. They've been very, very welcoming. I thought for sure, like the second if I were to walk up to anyone, if they were to say something along the lines of, "Who the heck are you? Get the heck out of here!" I would be like, "Yep, yes, sir." Just turn around but no, everyone's been super approachable and just let me pick their brains and talk to them in the pits afterwards. Just try and get to know as many people as I can. So I don't know for you guys. I'm kind of curious when your first year, just from where your background is approaching to racing, like how approachable was everyone for you? Like your first year in the pits from the announcer side of things.
It's fairly easy for me. I mean, Buffalo River, it kind of helps if you if you know somebody with a side by side or something like that, or someone that's already established. Like at Buffalo River is kind of where I got started meeting a lot of the people because Fargo had kind of closed down when I got going, and I ended up hanging out with Dwayne Peterson, who was going to be working at the new Red River Valley Speedway this year, and he would just bring me around, and we just talked to everybody, and everybody was super approachable and very easy to work with, and that's kind of carried over to every other track since then.
Brennan Grover, always loved being able to jump back in the booth with Dale. What do you do? Like now, you're with the ice racing and hockey. I'm calling hockey games all the time. What do you do in the off season?
I did an ice race last year.
Okay.
But as far as staying busy, I'm a fabricator, so I'm always building things. Like, well, even last night, made a Valentine's Day box with my kid. She wanted to make a Minions thing, so I'm always building stuff pretty much every week. You can guarantee I'm working on some kind of a project. You know, I help out some local farmers too, building custom pieces for them when I can, and just staying busy. My kid likes skating and stuff now, so we're doing that. Watch hockey. I'm kind of disappointed that Russia isn't allowed into the dance.
I am too. I want to see Kaprizov play.
Oh, him and, you know, like Ovechkin. I mean, he got the greatest score, right, you know. And he's not part of it. It's like, really?
You think they could work out some middle ground like they do for tennis? You know, maybe just do the white flag treatment or something like that.
Well,
but,
and the reasoning behind it, it's like, you're still buying Russian oil. Like,
Yeah.
let's let the real Russians
Yeah.
come out and play hockey.
I agree. I want to ask you guys, talk about your typical race day. I know you're big into prep. At least you have made that, you've told me that before. Typical race day for you, say it's Red River Valley Speedway night, Friday night. How does your day go? I mean, you can even start from going to work if you do go to work that day, and just take us through the day. And I'm going to ask all of you guys this.
Usually what happens with me is I'll spend 6 to 7 hours just scrolling through Facebook and checking all the drivers' stuff. No, not really. I don't actually do that.
Damn, you're making me look bad.
No, I mean, I'll go through things like my race
turn your mic down.
I'll go to like my race pass and stuff and spend a couple hours just looking through, just making sure I got everything kind of current. And luckily, Mike Speaker's done a lot of great work behind the scenes as far as getting like wins lists and stuff and the entire histories. He found something, and we are gonna be completing a lot of track histories coming up here in a bit.
Okay.
So I'm in on a page with him on something that he sent me for Red River Valley Speedway. And then I also work for him at Superior Customs, so I'm usually making the checks for the winners that night.
Oh, sure.
Helps out, which is a lot of fun too, because you get to be the person that you hand something to them when they're at their happiest.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
and it's cool to see. So I basically just work at Mike Speaker's shop at Superior Customs and Speedway Shots, and just when I have a spare moment, I just go check things out.
Would you rather? And I've answered this question many times. I've got to interview, and we'll talk about that too. But just at our racetrack alone, I mean, I've interviewed Rusty Wallace, Kenny Schrader, Casey Kane, of course, Steve Kinzer, the Kinzers, Sammy Swindell. I think I have more fun, though, interviewing a first-time winner. How do you feel about that?
Definitely.
If they're not shy, because I've interviewed first-time winners in sprint cars, and they just hold up. I mean, they just turtled up like. But what about you?
Yeah, definitely. The first time winners, there's someone who doesn't win very often. It's always a lot more fun to interview than someone who's done thousands and thousands and thousands of interviews and stuff. I mean, it's just a new thing for them. It's just a regular thing for them. But the new winners, I mean, I didn't even realize it, and I still feel like an ass for not realizing this at the time. But getting to interview McKenna Rommel, her first win.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And she was pretty emotional about it. And it was only right around then that I realized that was her first win. And I could have been calling it the entire time with her and Jory Berg fighting real hard for the win, and him not giving her an inch.
Yep.
And her getting the win. But I never sold it once that it was her first win until I realized at that moment, that's her first win.
Sure.
Can I ask you guys a follow-up? So I'll have my race pass open up there, just for like a separate window on my laptop there. If there's a driver that I'm like, all right, this person has not been in victory lane here. So all of a sudden I'm pondering, I'm like, I don't recall them winning anywhere else in the back of my head. Should I do a quick search and see how far back my race pass goes? I don't want to take it for granted. And then I'll double check in victory lane. Like I think Waylon Poitras got his first wins after like several years of racing in pure stocks. And I just kind of whispered up to him before I got up to him, like, hey, this your first W? He's like, yep. I'm like, okay. And have you ever had any of you have moments like that where you just wanted to double check, like right before, and find a slick way to pull it off?
Well, actually, it's funny that you say that, because down in Alec, me being the pit reporter, I'll be looking as the race is winding down, and you can look at right on my race pass and go in like the lineup. You can tap the name, and you can literally go into their whole profile on there, and you can find it's many years back as they've updated, as they've been a member on My Race Pass, and you can find how many wins they've got, how many races they've run that year, everything like that. So I have done that.
What about how do you feel when have you ever heard, and this happens to all of us, you've been saying my name wrong for 3 months. I mean, that sucks because I still do a lot of high school hockey games, and one of the first things I do is I sit down with coaches and I get pronunciations, and I'll say, okay, how do you pronounce that? And then I'll start right. No, it's spelled. I don't want to know how it's spelled. I want to write it down how it's pronounced, but. It's like, why didn't you tell me this how many races ago? Because there's some names out there, but that sucks when that happens.
I'm a full year and a half roughly into ice racing, and someone came up to me last week and finally told me how to say their name.
Yeah,
and they've been at every race.
Oh man, screw Russia. They can stay banned. Finally got my Victory Lane interview with Litton and didn't know where it was about to go from Lindsay Hansen. Appreciate all of you, Jenny Barnes. Keith Cumming, I'm glad you're getting better, buddy. Hey, guys, finally get to see a Dirty Thursday live. And I saved this one before I get to you, Dan. Heather says, Dale is so prepped, it's scary. Asking the person that flies by the seat of her pants isn't the person to ask prep questions because I've got about 5 different plans in my head. Now, Dale, if you remember, when you first got into this mad business, I told you, quit overthinking, quit over-prep. You got to learn more to fly by the seat of your pants.
Exactly.
Yep.
And that's because you never know what's going to, you can do all the prep in the world, but you just never know what's going to happen.
Oh, yeah, it's a great point because, Heather is exactly nail on the head there because I think, as that first season went along at Devil's Lake, I was like, all right, I can ask Heather only A, B, but not C, D, E, F, G, or the rest of the alphabet, or and ask these other people these questions and other people for pronunciations and other people to follow up with. Yeah, it's like exactly like you said, just learn as the season went along.
Kaylee says that's okay. More wins are hopefully coming this summer, but unfortunately it won't be down there again. So unless you come fill in at Ada, River Cities, or Greenbush this season, you missed your chance. Totally kidding. So she's totally kidding.
Yeah, Buffalo River, they just released a statement this year that they're going to be cutting back on some of the classes. And some of the Wiskow stuff they're backing down on a bit because just trying to be nice neighbors to Lisbon.
Sure.
They're only an hour away.
Yep,
So
yep.
we had to make a decision. We're going mostly with the IMCA classes so they can have the Wiskow classes.
Sure. I know River Cities hasn't got released their schedule yet, but I know it's going to be soon, and I know we're going to be running 5 classes pretty much every night.
I hear it's on Brina's notes app.
Yeah, just check. Reach out to Brina. She's going to be so bad. We're sad about Buffalo River. Apparently, Blaine liked it there. A lot of people do. I love that facility. I absolutely dub.
I thought Blaine was going to get his first win there too. He's been really tough out there.
He has been. Heather, he's gotten so much better and flying by the seat of his pants, and that is true. Dale is.
And going with that topic, and it's something that I've actually kind of wanted to discuss with the two of you. I've watched all that I could find lately I watched the NOSA night out at Greenbush, and I watched. I've of course watched Dale anytime I've had the chance, and yeah, you gotta. I mean. The toughest thing to do as an announcer is learn that your words carry weight, and a lot of times the flying by the seat of your pants, it's easier to go slow.
Yep.
It's easier to go slow. You use less words.
Sometimes less is better,
and those words will hit harder if you use less of them. Like you can sit there and hit the chip the whole entire time.
Yep.
Well, that's not, nobody's going to hear it.
Yeah, and half the time they don't hear it anyway.
Right. And if on a broadcast, you can kind of get away with it, but your stuff in the stands, they're not going to hear it. But they are going to hear your emotion. They're going to hear it better if you do less. Mm-hmm. And that's going to help you be able to figure out what's happening better too. Because you slowing down your speech also slows down your mind to the point where you're not trying to think ahead of what's going to happen. And you're not going to try to predict what's going to happen going into a corner. Like you're going to say, is he going to throw a slide job? No, usually every time they don't.
Right.
So yeah, that's the only real criticism I've had of you two, because just looking at everything, you guys do a fantastic job for being young and in the sport. You do a great job.
That outlaw night, I should probably apologize to the people that listen to the broadcast. I was pretty amped up for that.
Well, you got to be when they're coming.
That's the most excited I've been to watch a race.
Corey Litton apparently sings in the shop on Fridays to tune his voice and warm up for the mic.
Hey. Nick Staska's apparently we didn't give him enough work to do today.
Okay, Brina sang, so there's no schedule, but he knows the class is running. something seems fishy here. You got to remember, I know a lot more than you think. I did get a quick peek at some of it's coming out. Schedule out for Red River Valley Speedway yet? Is that schedule out yet?
Yes, it just got released.
Okay.
It is on the new Red River Valley Speedway page.
Okay. Dan, Wiskow, your day for a race day, how does it go for you?
Oh, a lot smoother than when I was a racer. Usually we'd be one of the last ones in the pit showing up because I had so many other things going on. But I show up a few hours early, and I'm not quite like Steven and Dale here for being statisticians, where I have all these numbers backed up in my head. My way to do it is I just go down to the pits, I BS with the drivers, and the fly by the seat of your pants thing, that's what I like to do. Because like when I'm talking to race, if there's a caution and I just had a conversation and this driver was really mad 2 weeks ago, I can, bring up like maybe he's thinking about that episode 2 weeks ago, or, give a little bit of a driver's perspective.
Just died in your arm. Now, up where you're at, your neck of the woods, let's be honest here. Let's be frank. There's some people up there with some god-awful names to try to announce.
Yes.
And you know that because you're right up in the ski part of the world, where there's like 14, 18 letters, and the name is pronounced nothing like it looks on paper. But how you've got some mouthfuls up there. How is that for you? But you also grew up around there.
Well, yeah, I try to do my best if I see a name that I haven't pronounced before. And talking about the Polish bloodlines there, you got to remember, most of them wrestled. Their dad might wrestle, their brother might wrestle. So if you get a little mouthy, you might have some issues on your hands. But
pull your mic up to you a little bit more. They're saying they can't hear you. Dale, what about you on a typical race day?
Oh, for a typical, I guess it depends where I'm at. At go-karts, it's a little bit different, doing a lot of the production work. So I got to get there real early there to set up the camera, and a lot of XLR cords just all wired up and bundled up. Those are a joy. And then, do the filming, and then afterwards, track down as many drivers as I can for post-race interviews, because at go-karts, it's all just race interviews for any drivers that want it afterwards. And then post-production work at home, some editing. It gets to be a long day, but it's a fun day. Like, the day flies by before I know it. And Devil's Lake is a little different. I try to get there about, I think, hour and a half to 2 hours before. Try to catch up some people in the pits for about half hour there, catch up with Heather for a bit for what to know going into the night, and then just race away, and luckily we do just like similar River Cities format there, like interview right after the race. Makes it pretty nice, and then pretty much as soon as I wrap up there, may try say a couple quick well dones and good jobs in the pits, and then bounce out of there and just. Yeah, and River Cities is, I guess, when I'm helping there out, it's about the same thing there. Most nights there too. I had a lot of fun there this last summer there, just helping out in the booth. So that's about my usual night there. So
if it's typical night for me, I just basically go with the flow. If there's a certain new class coming, like I know this year we're going to have a couple of different classes that we haven't had in a while, I will do the research on those. But typical day for me, I go to the Broken Drum. They are one of my sponsors for fishing, but I also pick up a guy named Mark Kalk, and I pick him up and bring him to the racetrack every Friday. That's what I do. He's there waiting for me about noon. I usually don't get there quite at noon. I mean, I get there a lot after. And then once I get my gear set up, then I jump in a golf cart, whatever one I can steal, and I go down to the pits, and I see who's here. I just kind of play the field a little bit, go talk to here and them and here, and usually end up getting some free food out of the deal, and then go back up and get ready. But and then we go from there, and it just, you never know. As long as you are ready for everything, that to me is the big thing, because you just never know what's going to happen. But this show, I can tell you right now, is probably going to run just a hair late. But let's get a break out of the way right now. We'll do that, so then Dale can come back down here and sit down. But Dirty Thursday, behind the scenes, track announcers. We'll be back right after this. Life doesn't ever seem to slow down. Everything needs to be done right now. Well, when it comes time for an oil change, stop into Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Most changes are done in about 15 minutes. Valvoline Instant Oil Change does more, too. Tranny and coolant flushes, tire rotations, and batteries. And included in your oil change, they're going to top off your fluids. Check your tires, battery, lights, wipers, and cabin air filter, too. And you get discounts for fleets and the military. They can text and email invoices and coupons and mention Grand Forks Best Source and get $10 off your oil change. Valvoline Instant Oil Change. They're open Monday through Saturday with no appointment needed. Pickup and delivery is also available if you live in Grand Forks. And Valvoline Instant Oil Change is now hiring. If you'd like to join their team as an assistant manager, customer service rep, or lube tech, stop in to find out more. Valvoline Instant Oil Change for a complete oil change and more. They're at 3325 South 38th Street or call them 701-780-8462. And make sure you tell them Grand Forks Best Source sent you. All right, we are back. Dirty Thursday behind the scenes. It is Track Announcers Day. By the way, at the Valvoline Instant Oil Change, if you go there, you can get the Monster Truck pit passes at Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Monster Trucks are coming to Grand Forks again. This is one thing that social media has changed racing a lot. It's really easy for the keyboard warriors out there, and it seems like they all come out of the woodwork when it comes to dirt track racing. Is it a good thing? I mean, it's the people that are too chicken shit to actually come up to your face and say something, so they say it on social media. And does that bother you at all?
I mean,
You learn to live with it awfully fast.
Yeah. I mean, I'm human, so
Yeah, right,
if
right.
someone says something, of course it's going to affect me a little bit, but for the most part, no, I let it go. I mean, I've heard enough. I've had death threats at times in my life, so
yeah.
I mean, there's the trolls they're just the people that they have nothing else in life.
They're miserable.
The unhealed in life.
Yeah, that's a good way to put
They got
it.
to take it out on something.
Yep.
So I'm glad you brought this up because I want to encourage all of our good fans, the really good fans, to stay positive and to post, comment, say when you see something that you like, say it. Please say it.
Instead of the stuff you don't like.
Because we're at a point right now in racing where it is pretty tough. It's a very turbulent year, to say the least, and we need the positivity to show up. Mm-hmm. You know, we have people that all they look at is just the negative stuff that gets posted, and they realize and they think, why even do it? Mm-hmm. And they are people that are in position to shut racing down.
Right.
So we need all of our positive fans to please comment all the time.
Yeah.
How much you love it.
1,000%.
You know, and especially if you're there every Friday night. I mean, there's got to be a reason you're there every Friday night or every Saturday or Sunday or whatever it is. But
don't let the assholes get us down.
there you go. There you go. That's worth a little round of applause.
No, I think that's great. If I can follow up on that, just I know every time before I start night off the races, I do a little social media post. I'm like, all right, here we go, awesome night of racing, let's go, something along those lines. And just anyone posting just a little comment, great night of races, or just or the race X, race Y, or this moment with this driver. Love seeing the good vibes go all the way around.
I would say, like, as a whole, there's a lot of, like you said, positive people that don't say stuff. Last year, I did a few goofy things before the races started, like with Facebook Live and stuff, and I just had fun with it. And I'd say for every negative comment, I had probably had 10 people that were like, you should do it every week. Obviously, I don't want to do it every week, but, it's just one of those things. Even like I didn't mention this earlier, I do write-up sometimes. It takes me till 2 in the morning. I do the write-up for the papers and stuff for the Greenbush. And even the feedback on that, people that don't get to make the shows, like there's a lot of positive people out there. Like you said, you can't let the two loud a-holes override the crowd of great people.
Absolutely. Nick Curtis says, don't forget the pit stop at Little Canada. All the big races, I make a pit stop or 3 at Little Canada. I wanted to get this one out there too, because this is the behind the scenes thing, and people are like, they're announcers. What's so difficult about that? And we get all the shit. I mean, we do. It's like we're the whipping post. It's like we're the complaint department.
Sometimes a counselor.
Exactly. In fact, one of our track owners I was joking with a couple of years ago, and I said, you know what? I'm going to start dressing like you. And he goes, what do you mean? I go, I'm just going to not wear anything that says River City Speedway. And I'm just going to blend in like this because maybe people will leave me alone. But it seems like if there's a complaint, whether the track is too wet, the track is too dry, Mother Nature, whatever. It's like, John, what the hell? Like, it's my fault, And do you get a lot of that? And I'm going to ask all of you guys that, but do you get a lot of that? Like, and it's just like, come on, it's Mother Nature. Really? What do you want me to do? But we're not the whip. We're not the answer everything guy.
Yeah, there's people like when I got to do double duty, when I got to do the winter interviews too, going up and down in the stands. And there's always people. The loudest people there, or the loudest people in the stands, are the ones that are going to be sitting there.
Sure.
And yeah, you tend to get a little bit of guff from all them. Some of it's warranted because when you're dealing with guys like Big Joe Jacobson every time you go walk up the stands.
Oh yeah.
Some of that's just there being funny, but
Right.
Yeah, there are other idiots that want to argue a call with you, and it's like, I didn't make the call.
Oh yeah. Have you ever had them barge into your press box?
Have because this is at Red River Valley Speedway.
Yeah.
One night we had a guy come in and start screaming at me, "You did this on purpose!" Because we had an issue getting a car off the racetrack or something like that, and I'm not going to ever really talk bad about any of the tow truck drivers or recovery workers and everything like that. And it was a difficult removal of a car, and we went into a holding pattern for a little bit because we thought we were going to get nailed by rain, and then we were trying to move the show along, but like I said, we got delayed somewhere, and then the rain came. And a guy came in and screamed at me saying that, "This is your fault. You made this happen. I'm never coming back here again." And I just yelled, "Good." And shut the door right in his face.
For sure. Kaylee, go look at the comments. Some of our stuff. Some idiots always criticizing everything we do. I usually respond by asking for their phone number so we can call them up next time we need the help. I usually say real race fans don't act or talk like this. I just had to come to the realization that if you put our stuff out there, it's going to happen. The fans we get down to the pits after race outweighs the keyboard cowboy comments. Absolutely, and it does every time. Lindsay Hansen, quiet from Brina. Heather, trying to be a work promoter. Fun times in the horse world. You usually
most of that,
aren't
though.
allowed in the crow's nest. People crazy.
She engages in it all the time, though.
Yeah.
I mean, then that encourages more of it.
Sure. Brennan, all publicity is good publicity. Jory Berg, no one makes you more famous than the people that don't like you. Rico was a quote from there. Dan Wiskow, are you the whip and post of Greenbush Race Park?
Sometimes, depending on the night, obviously. But usually I try my best to explain the situation from the track's perspective, the driver's perspective, and if they may have misinterpreted something that happened on the track or a call. I do my best to quell the situation if possible.
Sure.
And, you can't make everybody happy.
No.
But if at least you can have that race fan when they leave the facility, understanding what happened and why it happened, they're hopefully a little more likely to come back and less likely to be angry. So,
Brina Singh says, I guess I'm the one that cancels the races. Brina, here's the deal now. It was a very short notice, but I invited her to come on the show today. And she said she can't because she's in school in Fargo, but are you texting us while you're in class, Brina? That's what I'm wondering. Dale, what about you? Have you been the whip and post at all?
It's interesting. You kind of, when you were talking about a couple of the things you went through, I kind of had some similar experiences about, maybe a bad call or something as I'm, waiting for the victory lane interview for the driver to come up, a couple people coming up with like daggers in their eyes, coming up to me going, like, you just tell, what is the deal with, and I'm like, oh, not my call. And, yeah, things like that. Or there's been a couple of times where people came into the press booth there and, some upset with the callers or a matter or X, Y, or Z, and those were definitely some like, okay, let's just talk this out. It's okay, and got through it. But luckily, it was only just a handful of times, nothing too crazy. But easily, I think like the most just doomsday scenario was I think it was like night one of the season finale when we had a blackout at Devil's Lake Speedway.
Oh yeah.
First time ever experiencing a blackout at the races.
Had one of them at a hockey game a couple of years ago.
And I was checking up with Heather up in the booth there. I was like, how do we proceed with this? I'm like, okay, I'll make an announcement on the PA. And they're like, oh, wait, the PA is out.
Yeah.
So then I proceeded to go down to the front of the bleachers there and projected as best as I could with my voice, like screaming and not like screaming, but try to just explain what was going on. I mean, meanwhile, in the back of my mind, I was like, oh boy, hopefully this doesn't last that long. Luckily, it was only like not even a 10-minute blackout, but like that 7 or 8 minutes felt like an eternity.
A couple of more posts. Brendan replying to Brina saying, yeah, get your shit together. Kevin, how could you have bad thoughts? Damn fat fingers. Heather, monetizing requires it. If they're going to be buttheads, I'm going to make money on it. A great answer. Replying to Brina, well, you're the meteorologist, so duh. Race day for me, Friday mornings, I'm usually out of here by about 9:30. And I go home, and from the minute I walk in the door on a Friday morning, I have a notebook with me. Because that's when the calls, the messages, the texts, they all start the morning of race day. and it goes up until the races are done. Your phone is constantly going. Hey, they'll walk in. Hey, can you mention this guy's birthday? Oh, hey, can you mention this? Oh, and then your phone's constantly going. Does that happen to you too?
Oh, yeah.
Like all the time.
All the time. And it's always right when I'm just about to do something.
Exactly.
And get going. So a lot of times I just sit and wait and just see if that stuff comes in.
Yep.
And just trying not to get too involved in whatever prep I'm doing.
Sure.
Getting ads ready for the night and stuff like that. And then usually I know I've gotten it pretty tamed down in a lot of things where, most people that I've worked for now get me the stuff on Wednesday.
Yep. Sure.
A day that I'm not doing anything, and then I will have it ready and perfect for you by the time. I might even have it recorded as an ad, and
right,
and stuff like that. But yeah, it's still a lot of times everything's last minute.
Chris says drivers scream at me as fire crew about why they took the yellow flag, and I just say, do I look like a flag man? I get that. How about you, Dan? Phone going crazy, race day or not?
Yeah, usually, and I don't mind when people pass me notes through the door.
That's fine.
Like a birthday, something
Write it
simple.
down.
Yes. Like the one time that was kind of hard, I didn't want to make the night awkward, was when somebody had passed away. Obviously, a moment of silence at the beginning of the show is the time to do this, not when we're 2 features from the end of the race. But I did my best to work it in, be polite to the family, and do what I could. So you just got to roll with it sometimes. But.
Yeah. How about you, Dale? You get a lot of that stuff. Race day, or people bugging you and messaging you?
I mean, usually, there's not always, but some point in the season, several points, last minute announcements or last minute update to a advertiser or sponsor for a certain race or special, especially, when it comes to like 50-50 contributions, stuff like that, special sponsor for that, or special like intermission happenings or giveaways or door prizes, things like that of that nature there. So it's always like a constant, not like a constant state of flux, but just kind of always in the be ready mode, just for anything can happen and just be ready to work it in. And, sometimes I've seen good positive situations happen this last minute. There's one time at, I think at River Cities there, I was up there in the booth with you there. I think I was just taking notes up there one night there. And one guy came in up there and was like, hey, I just want to say you guys all do a really good job.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, this is rare. This is great.
And I'm gonna bring that part up here too in a little while when we get ready to wrap up. But do we have any pictures?
Yeah, I found about several.
Let's take a look. Let's see. Let's take a look and see what we got.
Okay,
it's hard to find pictures of announcers. I'm like, let's try to find some pictures because Dale will always show me his rough cut of the promo. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, I'm by a mic and I got headphones on. And I think, I don't know if Dale was, but really nobody else was. So I started digging for pictures. I wanted to make it look like we were at least announcers. God, look at the gut on that guy.
12 ounces at a time.
Yeah, there you go. Maybe you can even see one over to the right there. That must be early into the night, but yeah, okay.
Sun's still up, yeah.
Oh, look at that.
That was at Bristol.
Oh, no kidding.
Dwayne
Awesome.
Keith and Nick Robbins next to me. That was one of the few days that I was allowed to get on the microphone there. And both those announcers, pretty good friends of mine. Dwayne Keith is one of my favorite people that I've ever met. That was a fun time. It was a lot of work, but it was a fun time.
Good
overall. But yeah, you can see how high up in the air you are.
Yeah, you've been lucky enough to get to do some of these bigger things.
Yeah, I won that.
Yeah, that was I worked for XR Barry Braun and didn't handle any of his money for about 8 years, which was a smart move on my part. And I got out just before everything went
up. Okay.
Oh man, that would have been awesome calling it a big track.
And really, I don't want to ruin the aura of this too much, but I didn't see anything on the track.
Is that right?
I was calling straight from a screen the whole entire time.
Oh, sure,
because the back straightaway is a long ways away.
Yeah.
It's a half-mile racetrack, so it's big, and you're probably over 100 feet up in the air there.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Oh, that's me. I guess one of the other things I didn't mention earlier is that I love to build trophies.
Sorry. Ignore. There we go. Sorry.
That was we have a bunch of memorial races at the Greenbush Race Park, and this was for the Rick Johnson Memorial.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Made with spark plugs from one of Rick Johnson's cars along with the steering wheel. I have one more addition to make to that as soon as I get that back from Hess. He was the winner last year. Cool part about that is he actually seen that trophy on this show last year and wouldn't have went to Greenbush, and he's seen the trophy. He's like, I like that. So he
Yeah.
showed up, and it was kind of a chaotic night of racing, but he took home the checkers with it. But I made a few meaningful memorial trophies, and I really enjoyed doing that.
As we keep scrolling, Jackson Wade says, when I was younger, I was really selfish as a driver. I've come to understand that we're all there to enjoy what we love. Everybody is just trying to do their best, and a lot of people are donating their time. Absolutely, Jackson. Mark, good show today. Guys, enjoy your announcers at the different tracks. Thank you. All right, Dale, doing the stuff there down in Victory Lane.
Yeah, Devil's Lake Speedway with Tyler Peterson after he took home the Golden Hammer. And I was trying to find a good shot there where it was like the mosquitoes were terrible that night. I don't know if this has ever happened to you in Victory Lane, where occasionally there's like maybe three or Eugene does a really good job of spraying for mosquitoes. But usually there's a couple of nights where the timing just may not work out right, or the mosquitoes are way worse than anticipated. And usually I know announcer protocol, ignore the mosquitoes. And
You just got to deal with it. You just got to take it.
There's once during that interview, I watched it back before you guys got in here, and I was like, oh no, yep, I definitely flinched and batted one way at one point. That was just all up in my business. Has that ever happened to you? Do you learn to just tolerate it, or
You have to. You try to. You try not to be the first one to crack in Victory Lane.
Yeah.
That's kind of the rule of thumb there. If someone else does it, then yeah, you can acknowledge it and go and try to work your way through it.
I was doing pretty good for the most part. At one point, it was just this is ungodly.
You guys don't do the helicopter with the checkered flags while you're doing the interviews to keep them away?
I'm glad
Sword
I'm in a
fighting.
booth. I'm glad I'm in a booth with windows. Eric says we appreciate what you guys do, being the direct line to the fans from promoters and sponsors. Everything going on. Dan, when I add to his workload, that's from Eric. Chris, announcers, you did an awesome job in the show today. Thank you. All right, this was.
This is when
It's Devil's Lake.
Yep. When you're filling in for me, I think it was when I was off running the Fargo Marathon there.
That's right. I love doing shows at Devil's Lake. I love doing shows at all three of these you guys' tracks. I mean, I've only got to do one in Greenbush, but man, I had a lot of fun up there. Guys that we used to run with all the time back in the AMOD days.
Awesome bar and grill there.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's a cool facility.
It is.
I think it's great.
And that's my co-host, my wife, Lori. She is with me probably goes with me 80% of the time at the track. Love having her with.
All right, there we go.
That was season championship night. Actually, that ended up being Mark Askelson, who is the NCR announcer on NADA. He's the one next to me, but that's in the booth over at Red River Valley Speedway on season championship night. Rebecca Henriksen, one of the scorekeepers, and Jared Adler, all of them do a fantastic job. And Mark ran the radio broadcast in Fargo, and I used to run the radio broadcast in Ada, so we just kind of switch between the two tracks.
I was going to call him to see if he could come back here for the show, but he's always so damn busy now.
Yeah, he's got a big kid job now.
Yeah,
now that he got out of radio,
half the time he's busy across the world somewhere. But Mark, believe me, we're going to try to get you on yet.
Yeah, that was the season championship night a couple of years ago.
Oh, that was the night Mullen won the 410 when I was super amped up.
This is the first come back.
Yeah, I had kind of a bet that I had lost, so I had to wear some more radical attire. And I had this outfit, and then for the season finale, I had another kind of a rodeo clown checkered flag outfit that I had on, but made it enjoyable.
Was it pretty easy to find an outfit like that, the checkered flag suit?
It actually wasn't that bad. I had bought it off Amazon. I think between the two outfits, I got both of them complete for probably under $200. So
no, my Crocs are enough.
Yeah, but that was a fun night.
Chad Off says I take a backpack full of Tylenol and bug spray.
Okay, yeah. So this is Camber Obergon, Junior 1 wing kart driver at Forks Karting Association. She got her very first Junior 1 wing kart win. I think it might have been her first. Kaylee, please correct me if I'm wrong. Her first go-kart win altogether earlier in the season. So I was super stoked for her. Saw her getting better and better over the few years I've been at FKA. So wanted to track her down for her first victory interview, but I couldn't track her down. I guess they had to leave right away right afterwards. And so I know they were going to be at River Cities there a couple days later for McKenna Racing, the Midwest mod, and I think I was messaging earlier in the day. I'm like, hey, if it's not too late, I could track you guys down in your hauler there and get a belated victory win interview with Camber Obergon. And yeah, she actually dialed it back a little bit for the interview. You could tell she was super excited, the body language and all that. But, if anyone knows Cameron, she is always just super amped up. But it was still a great moment with her. Glad I was able to get a post-race interview with you. Have any of you ever done a situation like that? Like, hey, let's not forget, let's not neglect this. Let's get a better late than never post-race interview.
I did that actually. I recorded an interview. Like I used to do a segment on the podcast that I used to do for KFGO, the traveling roadshow version of it, where I would follow a driver to a different racetrack or something. I would interview them before the heat, after the heat, and then after the feature. And I was with Calvin Kesselberg, and I forgot to hit record after the feature was done. So we had to, about a week later in Lisbon, I had to record the post-race comments from him over like a week later. And and I was able to piece that all together right there. It still even sounded the same. He even made sure his generator is running.
Oh,
geez.
nice. Editing magic.
Wow.
Editing magic.
Nick says you wear a wig running around on the side-by-side. I'm guessing he's talking about you, Dan.
Yeah, probably me.
I don't do wigs, so
no,
they me.
I did a couple things. One for the sprint car special, one for the late model special to
there
kind
you
of
go.
juice it up a little bit before.
No, that looks more like me.
Is that methanol moonshine
Is
you
that
got there?
Sure is.
Wade Onger there?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
He was with us, and we stopped in Little Canada. This is for one of the bigger races. I don't remember which one it was, but he had the bottle of methanol moonshine, and so we were down there test driving it with the Canadians before the races started that night. And yeah, of course, you get a picture of John Roberts doing that, but.
So you get an Aussie, an American, and some Canadians with some methanol moonshine, and there was no international incidents?
None.
It's
None at
actually
all.
not that bad.
Yeah, none at all, and they still liked us. Kaylee, kids love to be center of attention until you put a camera in her face. Thanks for capturing that for us. Though, Dale, yes, her first win. Seems like it finally clicked with her. Nosa and Greenbush Night Outlaws. Okay. Oh, there's another good pick.
That was actually the one
shaven guy.
The one day that I was the flagman out at the Norman County Raceway in Ada in front of that beautiful old historic grandstand there. I'm holding the black flag in hand, and believe my post about that was, I ain't putting up with anyone's shit tonight.
You could pass off as Smoke's brother in that picture.
As a joke for the first heat race of that night, we were doing a race receiver check, and I said, drivers wave when you come by to see if your race receivers all work, and they all flip me off.
Perfect.
Speaking of Little Canada, Daryl from Canada. Good morning, boys. Great show. Hope to make it to more tracks this year. Great job to all the tracks. Appreciate all the hard work everyone puts in. Cheers. See you guys soon. I can't wait.
Oh,
There you go. Look at that outfit.
Yeah, I was interviewing Alan Trushinsky, thanking him he basically dedicated a whole almost 2 months of his life to improving the track, reshaping the track at Greenbush, and I did my best to let him tell his story. Of course, in typical Alan fashion, it took a little longer than I expected, but it was good to share with the fans.
Nice.
So it was a great night, and obviously his kid's car is right behind me there in the picture.
Now, Jackson Dobmeyer, of course, with his father Mark, and Jackson has been crushing it these last few years here at FKA, and but he's been notoriously hard to track down for a post-race interview.
He don't like to talk. No, he doesn't.
Then I finally was able to get him just once last season, I guess, all together for the 3 years I've been with that FKA doing post-race interviews and just helping out there. And at first I saw Mark. I'm like, where's Jackson hanging out? You think he's up for at least one interview this season? And he's like, I think he's playing football out back there. And a lot of the kids will play football afterwards.
I have found with these young guys, the young boys, if you want to get them to talk and open up, fart in front of them really loud. And they think that's funny as hell. Then they open right up and they're like, oh, all right.
Yeah, but yeah, I found him and he was surprisingly up for it that one night. I guess I got him in the right moment. He must have had some good plays there in football there. And so, yeah, him and Mark did it together there. And he crushed the interview great. So hopefully get him more on camera here in the seasons to come.
Oh, there's when the IRL.
Or IRA? Or is it
IRL?
Yeah, IRA.
IRA Springs.
IRA.
Yep.
Yep.
Good old Chatty Matty.
Matty and
Lauren Kelly.
Lauren Kelly. Yep.
Lauren Kelly's a really good announcer, too.
He is.
Chatty Matty really adds a lot. So
Yes, she does.
they're a good team.
And they treated us really nice when they were up here, too.
That's
Exactly.
sometimes I'd like to have a cohort and crime up there in the booth, and There's more than a few people I think that would be a great teammate. So
Yeah, except they'd be standing up there. You don't have a whole lot of room
no,
up there.
no.
But,
well,
that'll
it'd help
come.
if it didn't look like I had ate the other announcer. If I was a little
Well, look
skinnier,
at me.
might be.
I got to learn
might
to
help
quit
a little
leaning
bit, too.
back.
Oh, that's a good one. That
Wow.
was 9 years ago. Actually, right around this time. I was working down. That's North Florida Speedway in Lake City, Florida. And after the races, we had to get clips, but we didn't have an actual interview camera. So I was down there with my phone, videoing Rick Eshelman talk to Kyle Strickler right there, and that was me when I had a lot more color in my hair. And yeah, that was after that race. That was the very last, at the very end of it. Rick stayed down there on the track with me, and Steven was with too. And that's actually Steven's picture. And we talked about racing around this area, and that's where I found out that he announced that Towner County Speedway, which was one of the first tracks that I ever went to as a kid out in Camden.
He used to be an announcer here.
And yeah, he did. And he followed around Corcoran.
Yep.
So when Corcoran was doing fair races and stuff, he did a lot of the announcing there. So Rick was one of the first announcers that I got to hear as a kid. And I couldn't have been more than 2 or 3 years old when that happened too.
When I first met Rick, he was up here with the World of Outlaw late models, and he was the only one of any of the late model shows I've done. He goes, "Hey, call this race with me." It was the feature, and I'm up there calling the race with Rick Eshelman, like you see, where you do 2 laps, you do 2 laps, and God, I had fun. I was just boarding an airplane, ready to fly to Amsterdam, nonstop, all the way from Minneapolis. When I got the word that he had passed, and oh man, it just destroyed my day. But
that day
Anyway.
right there in particular, before the races started, they had a CD player that they played the national anthem on, and it died.
oh geez,
I walked over, grabbed the microphone from Rick because I was running the camera. He's scrambling to try to figure something out. I grabbed the microphone and sang it.
Oh wow,
And handed it back to him. And then when they came up here and they couldn't race in Minnesota because of COVID,
yep.
they ended up picking up a date at the Red River Valley Speedway.
Sure.
And, I've only met him once at this point. He comes up and he does the same thing. He has me announce with him the entire feature race.
Yep.
And after the end of it, I heard him click the mics off and say, "That was for North Florida."
Wow.
Wow.
awesome.
Oh,
He's
man.
Like,
straight
holy
up
shit.
good guy, and his voice and delivery
Yeah,
is so
you
awesome.
used to play in bands and stuff,
Yeah.
and you sing, and I did too, and I sing, but I've never done the anthem. They've tried to get me to do it for years and years and years. I did it at the Gerald Deardahl Memorial Snowmobile Race this year. They got me out of retirement, and I called a snowmobile race for the first time in 35 years. And Chad Deardahl had mentioned on the mic that John Roberts is going to do the anthem, and I'm like, God, you son of a bitch.
Awesome.
And so I just said, "Give me the mic," and I did it. But I was out in the out in the truck on the ice. Nobody, you couldn't see me or anything. But yeah, maybe this year we'll get her gone. We'll see.
I told myself I was going to do it once last year at Devil's Lake, but now I'm probably going to hold myself accountable by singing on here now. But maybe once next year.
Jody Borgen Danner, thank you. All right, what else we got here?
Yeah, more. And speaking of Rick Eshelman, if people go on the GFBS Dirty Thursday archives on YouTube, I actually just posted a couple past times he was on the show in 2020
sure,
and
sure.
2022. Look him up. Good, a lot of good stuff.
I
Yeah.
miss his voice on calling the shows.
I was stuck with 14 cases of Bullring beer because he liked it, and I was going to send it to him. And yeah, it took me a while to get rid of that.
There's our flagman, Twinkle Toes, Kyle Cole there, along with Kate Taves, front of the family car, moving up. It's kind of cool. You're talking about, kids interviewing and stuff. I had both of those kids. They finished first and second. I believe it was a 1-2 finish, and I was able to get both of them up in front of the stands there at Greenbush. That was one of the more cool interviews I've got to do. Kids, like you said, sometimes it's not always, if somebody wins a lot of races, but if the meaningful races, whether it's the first or if you got somebody that's tried to win a memorial race many years, something that really means something to them, and I try to, pick a little bit of the emotion out of them if I can in
Make
my
it special.
interviews. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. That was a night.
They're good kids too. Those
Awesome.
Tapes kids.
Yep, great.
I've seen them running since Karts just a few years ago, and they're already up in the Kate's obviously in the NOSA 410.
Yep.
And Matt, I believe, is going to be running a lot more 305s, and they're both great kids. Tommy Taves, the other kid too that doesn't race, but he's probably as good and he'll sell you a $20 bag of popcorn that you could get for free.
Yep.
And they're all great
They
kids,
got talent.
all characters, and they're at the point too where it's still fun.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
they win a lot, but they're always energetic and excited.
You can tell by the smile in that picture there. Her smile says it all. You know,
Right.
she's having a good time. And
Okay.
All right, I think I got just one more here. Oh,
Oh yeah.
This is-
Save the best for last.
This was that
gosh.
that ill-fated moment where you decided to go against doing on-track announcing during the races, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah. It's
They're
like-
coming right at me.
Oh yeah, this. Yep.
Dirt track, snowmobile,
Trip to the hospital right after this.
dirt track
wrapped up.
motorcycle racing. Where you're right out there doing the flag.
Oh no, this was I think I was trying to do something a little different one week just to help promote the go-kart races last year, where I did a track walk around the track in the middle of the week, and or I guess I think it was a day or two before the races. It was something I always wanted to try to do, and Corey, to allude to one of your points you mentioned earlier, that's something I learned after this year too. I walked around the whole track, just kind of highlighting big moments at each turn throughout the track, doing a little play-by-play on there too. But I think by like turn 3, I was like, oh no, starting to get a little bit winded doing this here.
Yeah, in the mud.
Yeah.
I've done that once in my career. It's when Red River Valley Speedway was a half-mile track. I walked a lap with Carl Kinzer. And I had a screwdriver, and he'd poke and I'd poke. I didn't know what I was doing. He'd poke and I'd poke, and he goes, "What are you guys running?" Because I was talking to him, and he didn't want to talk to me. And I said, "We're running 360s tonight." Oh, and then he was just a great guy. Great guy. Walked the whole entire half a mile with me and was a great guy. We've all had our great interviews. Is there a guy, a girl, anybody that if you could go back in time, because a lot of times it's too late now, who would be the top of your list to interview that you haven't?
Ooh, that is a tough one. Barney Oldfeld.
Okay.
Because he wasn't in my timeline,
Sure,
and
sure.
I'd want to talk to somebody from the pioneering age of racing in the barnstorming era.
Sure.
I mean, anyone that could get banned from a sanctioning body at the beginning of racing has to have done some awesome shit.
For sure. For sure. Okay. How about you?
for me, I'd probably go back to, I loved Steve Kinzer. I'd go with Steve Kinzer, whether it was Scott Gherkin, Forbrook. I'd like to have both of them in an interview, and just so you could get more of a feeling of the duo of what it takes to be a top level team. Like there's so many questions. I could talk to them all day about stuff like that.
How about you, Dale?
No, I don't know. It's kind of like a whole different ballpark here. Just from my background, only really being part of the local racing scene for the last several years here, but just helping out with the go-karts a lot these last few years. I really want to interview the go-kart drivers that are now racing on the big tracks.
Oh,
When they get their first feature win, or one of their first feature wins, I want to definitely, big part of me would like to interview Jersey Rosinski or McKenna Rommel or Blaine Barnes and just so many more. So it's just to interview the go-kart drivers off one of their first big track wins. I think that would be big. And if you want to talk about just crazy dream things that will never happen, one day I would love to say Pirelli to Pirelli one day, but that day will never happen.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to disappoint some of you because there's 2 people on my list, and neither one of them raced dirt track. One of them was the late Dale Earnhardt. I back when NASCAR was NASCAR, before it was NAPCAR, he was my guy. I mean, I was racing pan cars indoor with the RC cars and stuff, and my shit was all Dale Earnhardt. I had the Wrangler car, I had the black car, I had them all. When he passed away, because I knew so much about him behind the scenes, the help he did, that he didn't want people. You know, a guy's farmer, the farmer next to him, his field got wiped out in a drought or a flood. Dale would go secretly buy him seed to plant his crops again. You know, the things that he didn't want people to know about. And another one was John Force. After watching him explode and get that thing across the finish line, and he still wanted to get him out of the car, and he's just black. I mean, he's just face is stained black, and his car's just, the body went flying way back. It just boof, and he goes, "I would have drove that thing straight to hell to get the win." Woo! And I just went, "That's it. That's it. I'd love to go have a beer with that guy."
Was that the same interview where he said that he saw Elvis?
It might have been.
I bet he'd be a wild person to
Have you
hang
ever
around
seen
with.
his house?
No, I
Oh
haven't.
man, you should see his pool. I saw it on that outrageous pool show or whatever. He's, oh boy. We're starting to run out of time here. The best part, how do you feel like, because everybody knows us at our local tracks, it all makes it worthwhile, because let's face it, we don't get rich at what we're doing. We get paid the same whether we're there for 3 hours or 13 hours. We take a brunt of people's complaints or whatever, but we all have one thing in common. We all absolutely love doing what we're doing. How does it make you feel at the end of the night when people are coming up to you and going, good job, way to go, man, love listening to you? Does it make it worthwhile for you then?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It totally does. I don't often hear it, but
Yeah.
it happens. There are people that come up there. But I mean, I get so worked up and into a mood when I'm trying to do this that I generally don't even hear it.
Sure,
when people
sure.
come and say anything
It's
to me.
usually like when you're walking out afterwards.
By the time I'm out, I'm in a different mood completely, and I'm not even expecting people to say anything nice to me or anything to me. So I generally just try to get out there as quietly as possible. But I do appreciate everybody that does come up and say something nice to me after the races are over, and if they're all still around in the stands while I'm still there. Or what.
Yeah. And does it make you feel like you did a good job when people do that to you?
Yes, that's one thing at Greenbush after we reconfigured the track and then with the exit ramp for me to do driver interviews and stuff. It's so fun because the driver and the car are right up to, so there's probably a lot of fans that don't go to the pits. They can see the car, they get to see the emotion of the driver, and even like just not always after the races, but like heading up to the booth. Like I've had family members give me a hug after a memorial race, or if it's their driver, they come up, give me a high five. Like that, it's just it makes the whole night worthwhile, even if things go completely wrong.
Somebody says Bloomquist for sure, not to be confused with Dowling though. That would be Scotty
one, Lindsay.
Bloomquist would have been a great interview. Dale, how about you?
Oh, yeah, I guess echoing all your guys' sentiments, it's almost same thing. You know, if just talk to the fans afterwards, or if able to catch up with the driver, just it doesn't happen a lot, but every once in a while, just it always means a lot. Makes it all worthwhile, all the traveling and just the long nights. Sometimes just to hear, hey, good job out there. Or I always tell myself, if I in any way help add an extra 1% to the fans' enjoyment for the night, that makes it all worthwhile.
I agree. Aaron Holton, thank you, announcers, for all you do. We do it because we love it. How long can you see yourself doing this for? Until you can't anymore?
I've noticed myself kind of losing a step or two, so I've already started transitioning into trying to make someone else take over eventually.
Okay.
So that position's open. If anybody wants to come learn underneath me at all, and I'm available. That's one of the biggest things you can do as a professional is make sure that there's a future.
Yeah,
afterwards.
for sure.
And I'll extend this to both of you right now, since you're young in the business. Dan, I know you're a little older than me, but whatever.
Young in the business. Yeah.
You're young in the business, but if you guys need any help whatsoever, I mean, just let me know. Any advice, anything like that. If you're having issues, or want me to watch your stuff and critique you, then yeah, I mean, I can do that. And
I definitely need a lot of help. Like I said, I'm kind of a rough.
I haven't
rough
heard
stone. He's
anything
more of a
bad, so
polished
I
guy
haven't heard
than
anything
I-
bad.
I watched one of your shows, and it was towards the end of the season, and it seemed like you've been doing it for years.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't have very many problems.
And that's what you want to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of what my mindset's right now is. I don't know. I don't have a figure or amount of time that I want to put on it or anything like that, but I know that there are less ahead of me than there are behind there are already behind me.
Okay. Okay. How about you, Dan? Since you're kind of one of the new guys at the deal, you too.
I like to take in as much as I can and learn stuff. Hopefully I can do this for a while. I don't know. It's been really enjoyable for the most part. I learn something every night, whether I want to or not.
Sure. It's
and
good
that
way to
makes
get
it
your
part of
race
the-
fix too.
Yes. Yeah. Obviously, not racing anymore. It's hard sometimes. Like it was kind of a love and sadness deal when the NOSA show was there, but obviously I missed that stuff. But it was so much fun seeing the young people in the sport that I hadn't really got to talk to, and there's just so many moments like that throughout the course of the season that make it completely worthwhile.
I'm lucky that I get NOSA as much as I do. How about you, Dale? I mean, you're just getting into this stuff too.
Yeah, I mean, no plans to stop anytime soon. So I'm taking in as much as I can each and every night, just like Dan mentioned here, just soaking it all in. And may have to take you guys up here and reaching out to you a little more. I know there's some nights, I think, when we had some guest classes at Devil's Lake where I'm just not used to, like Inix there one night, and luckily Mason Eisenzemer was there that night, and I was like, hey Mason, I was able to touch base with him a little bit, and so yeah, we'll definitely keep that all in mind, and yeah, just look forward to more bigger and better things ahead.
Speaking of that, I think you were the one that corrected me because I called them Inex Legends.
Yeah, they're
And
Inex.
it's Inex for
Inexpensive.
inexpensive.
Yes.
Which I didn't know that. I mean,
Which is a word that actually isn't real in racing.
no,
Inexpensive.
exactly. But if you saw Inex, would you think it was
I
Inex?
called it Inex for the first several years that I was announcing.
Okay, thank you.
And then we had the Inex Dirt Nationals out at Red River Valley Speedway, and I got to I was announcing that. And one of the higher ups that was in the booth with us said, "No, it's Inex."
Ah, yeah. See, I never knew that. I think you were the one that corrected me last year on that during the show. Anything you guys want to wrap up the show with? Anything you got to say?
I mean, it's been great being on the show with all you guys. I really do respect what you guys have been doing and how quickly you guys have really assimilated into this and
they do
and
a great job.
gotten good at it. Just keep it up. Keep it up, guys.
And see, I myself want to thank you. We didn't have to drive an hour to get here. We didn't have to stop and leave work to get here.
Technically, I'm still on the clock because I got to do deliveries today. So.
Oh, okay. Well, then it all worked out good. I'm super stoked that we got to be friends. I mean, I didn't know you for so long. In fact, first time I went to the bar that he's talking about, my wife was there for an appointment, and I said, "Hey, I'm in town. Let's go meet." And I knew he wasn't drinking at the time, but I was going to. And I said, "Yeah, can I get a Busch Light?" And they said, "Nope." It was
For a PBR bar?
16 ounce PBRs. What were they? $3?
$2.50.
$2.50 all day,
hams
every
are
day, or
$3.
something like that. Yeah. And I'm like, sold. Here I am. So I got to get my ass back there soon.
I think we were the number 31, the 31st place in the nation for PBR sales.
No kidding.
Plus, PBR Light just came out with a new product, and we are number 1 in the country for that.
I did not know that. How is it? Is it? Oh, well, I suppose you haven't
haven't
tried
had
it.
it.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to have to look for that, though.
Yeah.
I will have to look for that.
I know a place.
Okay, perfect. Next time I'm there, I might even be there Sunday. Corey Litton, Dale Kulas, Dan Wiskow, myself, thank you all. Folks, you've heard what we do all summer long. We see you at different tracks. Support your local racetracks. Tell us the good things, not the bad things. When you get on social media, it's the same thing. I know there's always good and the bad, but you know what? Let's make it a little better, and let's hear some more of the good than the bad. I love this. By the way, next week, as our behind the scenes series continues, we're going to do Racer Wives and Moms. How about that? We're going to have Dylan Langevin's wife, Katrina, here. Weston Olson's mom, Elisa, is going to be here. I can't wait. It's going to be awesome. You guys have a great show. By the way, our show today brought to you by Rumor Sports Bar and Casino right here in the Midtown District. You know, they changed the name of this place now. You know what? You can jump on the bus, go watch UND Fighting Hawks kick the crap out of Miami from Ohio this weekend. They're going to be playing at the Ralph. Or they've got 100 TVs in there. Well, maybe not 100, but you know what I mean. Wall-to-wall TVs. You can watch your favorite sports team. Why not go watch the U.S. Olympic team? They're going to be playing at whatever, 250 or whatever it is today, 150 sometime this afternoon. Go check that out. While you're there, get yourself some food. They've got great food, lunch and dinner specials. They got the world-famous beer tower. Monday is DJ Trivia Night, the initials game every second Tuesday. Today's $7 sandwich and a side. Open 11 a.m. to 2 a.m., 7 days a week. Rumor Sports Bar and Casino. Go check them out, all right? Don't forget, East Grand Forks girls hockey tonight in East Grand Forks at the Civic Center, 7 o'clock, Section 8A championship game against Warroad. Have yourself a great remainder of your day, everybody, and remember to like, share, tag, and follow us. Hit that notification bell on your smartphone. It dings every time we go on the air. It's awesome. Hey, we love the Forks. We're Grand Forks' best source. We're giving the Forks their identity back.